Happy Mobility Sunday, everybody. All right, so we're gonna hit our legs primarily and a few other things, excuse me, as well. So we're gonna start standing up. If you need a little extra balance, maybe work near a wall or a couch, we're actually gonna do a couch stretch. So if you have a blanket or cushion or ab mat accessible to you, you might want to grab it to use for your knees. But we're going to start today standing up with just a single leg quad stretch. So grabbing the front of your foot with your hand, maybe holding on to something. And then from this position, take your tailbone and tuck it under. And make sure your kneecap is pointed down toward the floor. Don't lift it up toward the side, turn it down, pull your shoulders back. Maybe even deepening that stretch if you can grab your foot with both hands or not. Whatever gives you a nice stretch. I just went for a run today, so hopefully this guy is going to be chill. Hold here. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Let's try the other side. So grabbing the other front of foot, tucking your tailbone under, kneecap pointed down, pull those shoulders back. Nice job. Good. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Shake it out. Now we're going to just do a little bit of movement. So we're going to grab one foot, stretching through the quad, and then we're going to see if we can take our opposite hand and reach over, tap the ground. It's hard for me to look at you and not fall over. But so holding on, reaching over, tapping the floor, returning both feet, switching sides. Just getting those legs moving. Don't worry about going fast. A couple more on each side. About one more on each side. And then relax. So we're going to stretch our calves now. If you have a wall or a couch or something that you can stick the ball of your foot into. So pressing the ball of your foot into that wall or couch. Turn this down. And then leaning into it for that calf stretch. Playing around with putting a little more pressure on it as you breathe. Seeing if you can bend that knee, that front knee, and see if you can push into it a little bit more. You might really feel this through the bottom of your foot as well, which is a bonus. And then shaking it out and switching sides. Other side. Shove that ball of your foot into the wall or couch. You can even bend forward. Whatever feels good. increasing that pressure just a little bit. Can. And then releasing. Let's do a couple of calf raises here. So just lifting up on your toes, seeing if you can hold that balance before returning back down to flat feet. Lift up, squeeze your calves, actively squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then lower down, 3 more. Up, squeeze. Lower down, up, squeeze. Lower down, up, squeeze. Ah. And lower down. Now we're gonna take our feet far apart and drop it into a low squat. So you can turn your toes out slightly, bring those hips low. You can rest your elbows on your inner thighs or your quads. Just maybe find a little movement side to side here. This is really tight for me right now. Can you hold for a little bit longer? Maybe even pressing your knees out to the side a little more. And then turning your toes forward, lifting your hips up. Just allowing your head to relax. Stretch down the back of your legs. You can flip your palms around, place your palms on the ground for a little forearm stretch. Good. And then we're going to bend into our left leg. So shooting those hips back, keep your chest up and open. You can lift that right toe up if you want to, or you don't have to. Just try not to collapse through your spine. Keep your chest lifted. You can sink super low if that feels good to you, or you can stay high. Stretching through that inner thigh as well as your hips. If you're low, your ankle is probably really going to feel this. If Val Head is watching, I've been running this week, so my legs are kind of on fire right now. And if she's not, I'm going to send her some mental side eye right now. Just kidding. All right, and shifting through to the other side. You can stay low or high, maybe turning that opposite toe up. Chest is open. Nice job, everybody. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to come back through the center into that nice low squat again. Maybe this one feels a little bit easier than the last time. I feel a lot looser already. Maybe moving, maybe not. Hold for 5, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn your toes forward, lift your hips up, forward fold. Let your head drop. Maybe from here you play around with rolling onto the outer sides of your feet and the inner sides of your feet. Be very careful with your ankles. Just create some movement in those ankle joints. Taking a pretty deep bend in those knees, rolling up to standing. Let's interlace those fingers behind your back. Lifting your chest up and open. Lift your chest up a little higher, maybe even look up. Get a stretch in that neck. Head comes back to neutral. Release those hands. Now we're gonna cross one leg over the other, but try to square your hips. So your foot is crossed over your other foot. All 10 toes are facing forward. And then from here, we're going to hinge at the hips with a nice flat back. Coming down halfway, holding here. Those legs should be crossed. You can do whatever you like with your hands. We're gonna hold here for just a little bit longer, and then we're just gonna roll or fold all the way forward toward the floor. And then fold forward. Maybe your hands find the floor. And you can wiggle your hips a little side to side if that feels okay. Just holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending your knees and then rolling up to a stand carefully. Switching the cross of your legs this time. Other foot crosses in front of other foot. And then we're going to hinge forward to that flat back position. Try not to round through that spine. Hold here. And then we're going to fold all the way forward. Maybe you find a little movement in your hips. Maybe you don't. Taking a deep bend in your knees and then making your way up to a stand. So here's where we're moving into that couch stretch. So if you want to stick a blanket or something under your knee, we're going to place one of your knees on the floor, and then your calf, your foot, is going to be nice and flat against that couch or the wall. Try to keep your chest lifted. If you need something to hold on to keep you in this upright position, find a spot where you have something. We're going to hold here for a little while. I love quad stretches, but I find it often hard to get into a deep one. So this is one that can really do it for me, but I have to hold for a while. Don't hold your breath. Nice job. If it feels safe and if you want to, you can lean back a little bit more to deepen that stretch. If you don't need it, don't worry about it. Really breathe. Staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. So carefully coming out of this side and making your way on over to the other and getting into the couch stretch carefully on the other side. Once you're there, you can play around with your front foot placement. Try Try to get that kneecap pointed forward. And then settle in, stay here for just a little while. Maybe think of a joke, a dad joke in your head, makes you laugh. What did the fish say when it ran into the wall? Damn. Keep holding. If you want it and it feels good, you can lean back or deepen the stretch a little bit more. Guys, it's so much better to hear you fake laugh at my bad jokes in real life than to assume that you're probably not even humoring me behind your camera screen. It's totally understandable. I probably wouldn't. But I'm going to pretend more. Holding for just a little bit longer. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's a snoring dog behind me, carefully making your way out of this side. So from our knees, you might want to hang on to that blanket or mat if you have one. We're just going to extend your right leg out in front of you, flex through those toes, and then hinge forward with a nice flat back. Try not to press your hands right on that kneecap. From here, if you want to bring your hands down to the floor, if you can, if that feels okay, go for it. And then if you want to take it further, go ahead and round through your spine and bring your nose down toward your knee. Hold here for 5. Hold here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Making your way out of it, and then we're going to switch to the left side. So flexing in that left foot, and then hinging forward with a nice long spine. Settling into it. If you want to deepen the stretch, you can go ahead and walk your hands further away from you. And if you want to round through the spine on this side. And then relaxing, making your way out. Back to those knees. Let's lunge forward with the right leg, sinking into that hip flexor. Keep that chest lifted nice and tall. And then step the right foot back, on over to the left. And making your way out of it, we're going to go through that one more time on each side, stepping the right leg forward, lunging into it, back knee on the ground. See if you can deepen that stretch. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switching sides. Good work, everybody. See if you can sink into that stretch. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. From here, we're gonna go into just a few groiners. So either from your hands and your knees or from a plank position, we're gonna step that right foot forward toward your right pinky and just settle into it. You can move it around a little bit. Drop that back knee down if you want to. Maybe creating a couple of circles in both directions before stepping back to a plank or hands and knees and on over to the other side. Moving around or staying still. Good, and then stepping that foot back, dropping down to your knees, pressing back into a child's pose, bringing your forehead down to the floor, if you can. Change that. Taking a couple of breaths in and out here. Before making your way up to your feet. I forgot to tell you, if you want a towel or a strap, go ahead and grab one. If you practice yoga at all, we're gonna do big toe pose. So if you have a towel and wanna hold one side of the towel in either hand and hook it around the bottom of your foot. Otherwise, if you have some room in your hips to wrap your fingers around your big toe, then we're gonna extend that foot out in front of us. So your foot can be nice and straight, or you can have a tiny bend or a sizable bend in that knee. But try to keep your torso upright and your shoulders pulled back. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. On over to the other side. This is my less balancey side generally. So grabbing the towel or grabbing your toe, extending that leg. If you fall, you fall. It's not a big deal. It's a great strength builder in your legs, as well as a stretch. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. All right, guys, one more deep Buddha squat. So taking those feet nice and wide apart, toes pointed slightly out. Drop those hips, maybe pressing your knees out to the side with your elbows, or whatever variation feels good. Notice how this one feels as opposed to your last two. Maybe you rock side to side, or hold still. To be honest, this one does not feel that much better to me than the last one, but it's okay. Lift your chest a little taller. Can you hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come to the floor. 10 toes point forward, hips lift up, forward fold, let your head hang, shake it, move it in all directions. Take a tiny bend in your knees so you have an athletic bounce, and then maybe swing your arms back and forth. Bigger bend in those knees, roll all the way up to a stand. 2 giant breaths here. Breathe it all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands come back down. One more, make it bigger. All the way up. Exhale, come back down. One more. Biggest yet. Breathe all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale all the way back down. Thanks for joining me for some leg mobility today. See you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a great week.